I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history.
No. Wait. Your train's inflamed, your anus is sprained, your every vein is clogged with black. Your spine's a wreck, your throat's infected from your neck down to your crack, and all your poop is filled with lupus, all your shit is out of whack. Your heart's diseased and full of bees, a single breeze could end your measly.
Traits in Fallout add some flavor to your character by giving you an upside at the cost of a downside, more accuracy at the cost of fire rate, more skill points but less EXP, etc. But what if they were all downside? Using the mod's unlimited traits and Welcome to Negative Vegas, used in Juve's latest video, links in the description, I'm making the courier suffer the realistic consequences of 2 bullets to the brain. Not only that, but every perk in the game is -2, and I gain one every level. This means I'll actually get weaker as I level up, and I'll have to choose the least bad perk rather than the best one. To top it off, I'm playing on very hardcore, banning companions and banning the speech skill, because I hate myself. I like to go above and beyond. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get ready to suffer. You may remember Can You Beat Fallout 3 While Completely Miserable, where I played a sickly freak of nature known as Girl Failure. Well, she's come back to stumble her way through the Mojave in all her terrifying glory. I spread out my stats evenly since they're all going to get decreased in some way or another. I tag explosives since my traits affect them the least, repair to counteract the trait built to fail, and survival for
the surprise tool that can help us later.
As for my traits, oh boy, I'm just gonna put up a list of what they all do instead of staying here all day explaining them in detail. Doc Mitchell is probably wondering how he messed up fixing my brain so badly.
But try not to get killed anymore.
No promises. As you can see, my stats range from 3 to 1 due to claustrophobia and hoarder, and most of my skills are so low that they don't even show up in the Pip-Boy. I'm gonna have to fix this as soon as possible. I start by stealing everything from Doc Mitchell to counteract hoarder, and get glasses for 4 eyes. Now this is feeling like the Neckbeard playthrough all over again. I get white horse nettle, it'll be important later, magazines and soda from around town, sell some things to Chet in exchange for a shovel and some turbo, steal from the saloon, and almost lose a fight against some sarsaparilla bottles before accompanying Sunny to hunt down some oversized insurance mascots. While my accuracy and damage are terrible, it's still the early game, and I have Sunny backing me up, so it could be worse. I do some looting around the area to get more horse nettle and the stuff needed for healing powder, then promptly redecorate the Prospector Saloon with Joe Cobb's brains. Before I forget, I head to the graveyard for Benny's cigarette butts, leveling up in the process from some tactical fly swatting. I put points into lockpick for the safe in Goodsprings and survival, and pick empty head as my perk to make magazines last 1/3 as long. I only use them for passing skill checks anyways. In the nearby Yangtze Memorial, probably butchered that pronunciation, but oh well, I find some horse nettle, a machete, some medicine, and a unique item, the doggy treat. Has no use, it's just a fun Easter egg. The real treasure is a duffel bag containing a stealth boy, and a grave with an incinerator and some med-X. Low energy weapon skill or not, fireballs to the face are still gonna sting. Ringo has a very appropriate reaction to my face.
That's close enough.
Before I head straight to Sunny Smiles and back, since I know I won't be able to convince any of the townsfolk. Like I've done before, I hide behind a crate and watch the citizens of Goodsprings take down the powder gangers without any help. Makes me wonder why they were even scared of them to begin with.
I'm hit.
Unfortunately, Cheyenne was killed in the crossfire, and judging from her face, it wasn't very pleasant. She will be missed. I guess. I do some last-minute stealing and selling before storing my unneeded things in a dumpster and making tracks to Primm. On the way, I decide to help Barton Thorne for the meager loot and EXP that brings. Normally, this is a simple early game quest where you fight some weak enemies, but with my abysmal combat skills, my machete might as well be massaging them, and they can kill me in 3 solid chomps. I do get to witness the beauty that is Barton Thorne running from and eventually dying to the same geckos he tried to lure me into. In the end, I'm forced to quickly loot the stash and escape down the hill before they have me for dinner. Gene skydiving has a laser RCW this time, which I didn't even know could spawn at such a low level. Probably won't get much use out of it, but it's cool to see. I use a mechanic I almost never bother with, disguises, to kill a powder ganger with the thing he loves the most.
Never gets old when something blows up. Holy shit!
I also steal the powder charges around their camp, which they have no reaction to for some reason, before killing some bark scorpions for their sweet, sweet poison glands. This'll all come together soon enough, don't worry. I enact some more frontier justice against the powder gangers.
Look out!
Before heading into Primm, realizing my shotgun might as well be firing packing peanuts, I get some use out of the RCW before it runs dry. The weathered 10mm proves to be my best bet, as I have plenty of ammo for it and headshots and VATS bypass their meager protection. Thinning the local prison population levels me up once more, where I put points into repair and survival and get the hunted perk, reducing critical damage against animals because I probably won't be scoring that many crits anyways. Apparently, Deputy Beagle only keeps a single kitchen knife in his gun case. I can see why he's so incompetent now. I begin my rescue by exploiting the split second when you load into an area to slip some dynamite into a convict's pocket, then quickly gun down the next two. I then use the incinerator combined with some powder charges to finish off the rest. The incinerator's lingering damage isn't affected by skill, and it only uses one flamer fuel to do a lot of damage over time, so by playing the long game I can eke out a victory. The kicker is, the convict leader also uses an incinerator, so that's a free repair and some ammo for me. I used the stuff from Primm to buy a recharger rifle from Chet. While it looks like a toy ray gun you'd find at Goodwill, it doesn't use ammo and does as much damage as my laser pistol, so it'll be a nice bit of insurance. As Dawes can see through my disguise, the fact that I'm a woman and the powder gangers come from a male prison doesn't help, I can't get Myers to help out Primm. I do witness this intense standoff, however. Clipping through the gate doesn't work, and while I can kill Dawes with a poison throwing spear, the cramped environment mixed with the sheer volume of fire makes taking out the others an impossibility. Instead, I steal some NCR armor for later, talk to Hayes about getting troops to Primm, and make tracks to the Mojave outpost, nearly dying to some vipers in the process. Thankfully, some ghouls were there to distract them. Since I lack the skills to convince Knight, I have to rain down some dynamite on some ants before finishing them off with a 357. Since ants have to go through a long attack animation before they can hurt you, I can just backpedal and... With Law and Order restored to Primm, I level up, picking the Uneducated perk to reduce skill point gain per level up. I can now show you why I've been collecting poison glands, white horse nettle, and putting points into survival. Silver Sting. I don't think I've ever used poison, but hey, there's a first time for everything. Poison ignores armor and it isn't affected by your skills, so it's a reliable way to damage powerful enemies. There are a lot of times where I pick flowers and kill scorpions to get more, so I won't go over all of them as not to bore you. Just know there's a lot of bark scorpions in and around Nipton, and they commonly respawn in Hidden Valley. Speaking of Nipton, after a lot, and I mean a lot, of rad scorpion hunting, I witness a goody two-shoes fighting off a rabid goth girl. I just let it play out and then turn the survivor into cherry-flavored fun dip to reap the rewards. Nipton has been half burned down by the Legion, but it seems they missed a spot. So I happily finished the job for them. By giving Kilborn the biggest mood flip of his life.
Heard you helped out Jackson. Thanks for that. What? There's no way.
I level up, putting points into lockpick and science, and becoming a lesbian girl failure to do 30% less damage to women. They make her hands go weak from the sight of them. If you don't fight the NCR, there aren't that many female enemies besides raiders, so this isn't that bad. I also report to Ghost for more EXP because why play one side when you can play both for maximum profit? With my newfound lockpick skill and a magazine from Sunny, I crack open the Goodsprings safe for a Stealth Boy, Super Stimpack, and Mentats. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see what would happen if I followed the railway tracks near Nipton. Well, first I find a lottery ticket near a block train station, which I never knew existed. That's kinda neat. But more importantly, I come across Crescent Canyon, which has a suit of combat armor at level 3. Sure, the geckos rough me up a bit and I take some rads, but it's well worth it. I also scavenge Nipton for a surplus of food and, with the help of some powder charges, a few more scorpion glands. More confident than ever, I head straight to Novac, fully ready to take out any raider scum in my path. And get immediately humbled. On my second attempt, I run like hell and let my armor soak up the stray SMG fire sent downstream, using the Legion to cover my escape into Wolfhorn Ranch. Inside, I find the chopper, some flamer fuel, a spare pistol and machete for repairs, and some 10mm ammo. Not learning from my previous mistake, I become emboldened once more and set out to obtain Knock Knock, one of the strongest melee weapons in the game, in the hopes that it'll still be useful despite a 75% downgrade. Since I can't pickpocket the key from Logan, for some reason, I slip dynamite into his pocket, grab it from his corpse, and run before his crew can stop me. I then make a mad dash to the fire station and past the Rat Scorpion Queen to find the saving grace of this run. Oh, it still sucks. Thanks to me not meeting its requirements, it being in terrible condition, and costing a fortune to repair to full, it's kind of useless to me. However, going here wasn't a total waste. By using a dose of turbo, I can snag a holy frag grenade before a golden gecko makes me its snack, which will be a nice Hail Mary if I need it. Heh, Hail Mary, cause it's a holy frag, never mind. Now that I've finally made it to Novac, I use my grenade rifle and some powder charges to whittle down the ghouls before letting Ada Strauss chip in as well. My incinerator is more than capable of cremating the stragglers. Doing this lets me get tons of energy weapons to sell and medical supplies, but sadly, no stealth boys from the Nightkin corpses. I use this money to buy an incinerator from Cliff to repair mine with, then pickpocket Manny's holotape and head off to Boulder City. Is what I would say if I wasn't so prone to distractions. I discover Helios 1 for later before remembering the Paladin Toaster, a decent unarmed weapon in the nearby Black Rock Cave. I end up having to burn a stealth boy to get it, but it's well worth it as it does more damage than any melee weapon I've gotten thus far, plus it does extra to robots. I also discover the El Dorito Station and the 188 trading post for later, before heading to Boulder City for real this time. I could just book it straight to New Vegas, but I want the EXP, chems, lighter, and horse nettle / scorpion glands you can find here.
What the hell? You're that courier Benny wasted back in Goodsprings. Alright, quit fucking around.
Considering I look like that girl from The Ring, I don't know why he didn't believe me. I level up twice from finding ketchup, getting ferocious disloyalty and weak belly as my perks. The first one doesn't matter as I can't use companions, and the second one is only a mild annoyance. I then steal all the useful chems in his hideout before bribing the NCR to leave him alone and testing my wrist-mounted bug zapper on some rad scorpions. My arachnid killing spree doesn't end there, as I walk to the El Rey Motel and kill the bark scorpions inside for even more glands. I will use the poison for a good cause eventually, don't worry. Retrieving the NCR armor I stole before, I use the monorail to get onto the strip, use all 3 pieces of evidence to convince Swank to let me ambush Benny, and, for the first time, witness Benny's guards running into the elevator. Well, that makes taking them out pretty simple.
Keep those hands where I can see them. Time to integrate.
Wait, how did you not hear the 40mm grenade exploding down the hall? Or is he just accepting his fate at this point? I don't blame him.
Holy shit!
Leveling up, I get the Rad Acceptance perk, making me take 50% more radiation damage. Radiation is rare in New Vegas, so this doesn't matter too much. Still, it stacks very badly with weak belly. Now that I have Yes Man on my side, I just need to get Mr. House out of the picture. Not before taking advantage of his generosity, of course. I used the platinum chip to hack into his chambers, why he didn't just turn off that terminal before I arrived is beyond me, and snort a can of hairspray to reach his chambers before I get shredded. Seeing his sorry state, I try to give him CPR with a wrist-mounted defibrillator, but his frail body can't take it and he flatlines. With Yes Man in control, I level up to get the Misfortune Finder perk, since I don't get many caps from containers to start with. My first order of business is to go to the fort and activate the Securitron army, before I piss off the Legion too much. I also snagged the Slave Ledger, which is just sitting out in the open and nobody minds me taking it, for later. The Mercenary's grenade rifle does a bang-up job against the robots in the bunker, with the Paladin Toaster's EMP damage putting in good work too. By peeking out, firing, and hiding, I can take out most of the enemies no problem. I just have to worry about the rats and crippled limbs. The final few turrets I do just tank, since I don't think killing them would be that worth it. Instead of sending a slave down there to check on the bunker and then killing them after, Kaisar blindly trusts my word that it's destroyed, so I can escape with a new army and a level up in hand. I choose the Nyctophobia perk as early bird makes nighttime undesirable anyways. This is just insult to redundant injury. With that out of the way, it's time to deal with the many factions of the Mojave, starting with the boomers. My first few attempts to get past the artillery don't go great, until I remember to blow up the cars before waiting out the barrage.
Are you even human? Some kind of mutant?
You know what? That's fair. I do kind of look like a Wendigo. Oh god, you talk about me being a mutant? What's that? Horrible hairlines aside, I start helping the boomers by stealing everything of worth from Pearl's home. I then listen to Pete ramble on and use some magazines to pass 2 skill checks with him, becoming accepted from that alone. And then I steal from them some more. Okay, I'm crippled in every way possible. I think I deserve a little slack. My heist gets me a bunch of missiles, spare grenade rifles, missile launchers, grenades, and other ammo and medicine that will make the rest of this run far more comfortable. I make up for my crimes by downing alcohol and Adderall so I can entertain some children and return a girl's lost teddy bear. To get the last bit of reputation, I break into the highly important and secure NCR facility by picking a very easy lock, to which none of the guards inside have any objection. That allows me to salvage and repair the solar panels, but there's one last thing I want from this place: Thump Thump. If you remember my George playthrough, it's a highly effective weapon just sitting out in the open, so I'd have to be a fool not to take it. Raising the bomber from the lake is as tedious and simple as ever, and with that, the boomers vow to support me. Although, let's stop and appreciate me healing drowning damage by drinking the same water I drowned in. I level up from this, getting the illiterate perk to make skill books and magazines have no effect. At this point in the game, I don't have much use for them. What's even better, I can now buy weapon repair kits, 40mm grenade ammo, and later on, mini nukes and a fat man from the boomers. I might be frail and useless, but a nuke is still gonna hurt, no matter how wimpy the wielder. However, I'd like some more reliable options as well. To that end, I head to the Horowitz farmstead and actually get to showcase the power of my poisons. Gotta say, I don't know why I didn't use these in earlier playthroughs. They're pretty dope. Of course, I get a free stealth boy by giving a Nightkin a dynamite enema, but that's not why I came here. No, it was for the obligatory Fallout 3 reference. My holy frag grenade comes in clutch at purifying the Xeno scum, with Thump Thump finishing off the captain, earning me his blaster. Since critical hit damage isn't affected by your skills or stats, and it has a 100 times critical chance multiplier, it's by far the most powerful weapon in my arsenal. Only trouble is the limited ammo, so I'll have to save it for a critical moment. There's one last thing I'd like to get while I'm up here, and that's a replacement for the Paladin Toaster. Don't get me wrong, it's seen me through thick and thin, but I can always do better. I make a mad dash through Ruby Hill Mine, somehow dodging faster than the speed of sound to get the Sonic Displacer Glove pushy.
Ironic.
Now I can go from the weakling people push around to the one pushing others around. With my loadout essentially complete, the only thing left to do before the final battle is clean up the rest of the factions. First are the Omertas. I'm somehow able to flirt with the receptionist to get information on who runs the show. Yes, because this face is just so appealing. I easily swipe Kachino's diary, although I don't know if it's possible to fail taking it, and use it to blackmail him into helping me stop the boss's plans. I go with Clandon this time around since he's much simpler and quicker to deal with than Troik if you don't have the skills. Just pickpocket his key, take his snuff tapes, and, since I snuck a knife in here, use it to poison him to death before he can alert the guards. Makes me wonder why they let me bring in vials of poison anyway. Now we have to take out the bosses themselves, and I do so in the stupidest way possible. First, by doing the Shady Sands Shuffle on Big Sal, which somehow doesn't hurt me at all. I had to pause, I was so shocked by this, before using my poisons to take down Nero. Because everyone knows a poison kitchen knife will kill you faster than an assault carbine to the sternum. After gorging myself on NCR Girl bathwater, I can deal with the white gloves in a similar but much more direct fashion.
Come on.
Come on.
Talk about a toxic work environment. Like with the boomers, my idea of a good first impression on the Great Khans is stealing everything they have of value. Old habits die hard, but I die very easily, so this is warranted. I make up for it by taking off Anders' Jesus cosplay and delivering a shady package for them. Since I already got the Legion's slave ledger and exposing Carl as a piece of cake, all that stands in my way is Melissa, the insane Kiwi girl who thought it would be a good idea to hide among giant bipedal lizards. It would make more sense if she was Australian, at least then she'd be used to being around giant killer wildlife. Once I finally find an optimal route that avoids Quarry Junction, I still have to burn 2 stealth boys due to Logan's loophole making them last a third as long. And I still need them for certain quests later, so I can't just shrug this off. Well, at least convincing Melissa that the Legion are sexist is easy enough. The last thing to do is give Papa Khan an example to build his empire on, to which I simply pickpocket an MLP fanfic from a follower at 188. Getting the Khans to fuck off levels me up, where I pick the Entomophobia perk, making me deal 50% less damage to insects. That would have been brutal earlier in the run, but at this point there are practically no insects to fight before the final battle. I replenish my stock of stealth boys by nabbing the one at Jackrabbit Springs and heading to RepCon for a few more. The ghouls there can't stand up to the 10mm pistol or pushy, so nothing to say about them. Now it's time to deal with the Brotherhood, who want me to kill Ranger Dobson, to prove my loyalty. And of course, I go with my patented exploding pants technique. Ow! What the... Did his radio delay its own explosion to get revenge for him after death? Okay, I'm kind of impressed. Anyways, I'm sure you know how this goes. I pickpocket all 3 keycards, use them to blow up the bunker, and then use a stealth boy to escape. I really don't feel like doing the BOS questline with this rule set. The only hiccup I have is when I get caught by a scribe briefly, but since it was next to a load zone, it doesn't alert the entire base. With the BOS gone, there's only one thing left to do before the final battle for the Mojave, the battle with all the chips on the table, infiltrating El Dorito. I just used a stealth boy and it was really easy. Sorry, kinda hyped that up more than I should have. With the last of my money, I buy a Fat Man and some mini nukes from the boomers, then go to Goodsprings to sort out my loadout. My final arsenal is the Alien Blaster, the Fat Man, a missile launcher, and Pushy, with a fully repaired suit of combat armor, a combat helmet, and some eyeglasses to wear. I also have a bunch of stim packs, more turbo, steady, psycho, and buff out that I know what to do with, as well as an assortment of many other chems. I'm more ready than I've ever been. Let's do this. Wait, who reprogrammed the Securitrons to work for Netanyahu? Never mind that, we have a legion to disintegrate. While the Alien Blaster's accuracy is awful, as long as I use it in close range, and ideally with VATS, it still cleans house well enough. Oh my god, I just yeeted that guy. Even though I murder the NCR troops guarding the control room in cold blood, it only makes me shunned with them, so this blatant act of war goes unchallenged. The boomers then fly in, reminding me of a much more fun weapon I could be using. I use Steady and VATS to snipe away the veteran gunners so they don't cause trouble later.
I knew it!
This levels me up, getting me the Animal Enemy perk, but since there's no animals left to put down besides the Legate, it doesn't slow me down. I take pretty much every chem in my inventory and lob a mini nuke right at the Legate's face, taking off about a fourth of his HP. I then take some turbo and follow up with another nuke that almost wipes me out, sure, but it also gets the Legate low enough that he enters his retreat phase. Unfortunately, my Securitron's missiles steal the glory of the killing blow, so I just settle for blowing up his guards instead. I put his helmet on as a show of dominance, and also to cover up my hideous face, before facing down General Meat Grinder Oliver, who thinks it's a good idea to antagonize me when there's a platoon of mobile, armored rocket launchers standing right behind him. He doesn't have much time to realize the error of his ways. With that, a highly underqualified, brain-damaged courier has assumed control of the Mojave, proving that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas with every negative trait. What lesson did we learn here today, folks? That no matter what cards life hand you, you can always find a way to persevere. Also, hard narcotics and high explosives are the solutions to all your problems. Hey everyone, thanks for watching yet another video. If you liked the video, leave a like, hype if you're on mobile, and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike and give constructive criticism so I can improve. Also, leave your ideas for new videos in the comments. If you really want to support me, subscribe to my Patreon or become a channel member, which will get you shouted out, guarantee a chat with me, and make your ideas more likely to become reality. Plus, it's only 17 cents a day. Even just 20 subscribers to my Patreon would mean a lot to me and help me put out even better content. And if you ever wanted my weird Mobius strip face plastered on your chest, you can check out my merch store, which is linked in the description. Check me out on Reddit or Discord if you want to chat, or check out my second channel, The Loophole, for some extra content. This is Causal Loop signing off. Peace.